Hello students, today we will learn about looping and graphics in Small Basic. While programming, there are situations when you have to repeat one or more statements a number of times. This can be done by using loops. Looping means repeated execution of statements for a fixed number of times. Students, do you know, Small Basic was developed by Vijay Raji, a developer at Microsoft, in 2008, in response to an article written in September 2006 by David Brin called Why Johnny Can't Code. Okay students, let us understand the concept of loop with the help of an example. Suppose your instructor orders you to run and take 10 rounds of a ground to warm up. The very first step needed is to fix a starting point and then start running. On reaching the starting point again, you complete a round. Then you take the second round and so on. This way you keep track of the number of rounds until the process gets completed. Students know the fact. In Small Basic, a file is saved with an extension .sb. In programming, this whole procedure involves setting a value by using a control variable and incrementing it until the process is completed. For example, let us say the control variable is c, which starts afresh from the starting number. This number is usually 0. When the first round is over, value of c becomes 1. After the second round, its value becomes c equals to c plus 1, that is 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and so on. This value has to be incremented every time the required process is repeated. After incrementing, the control variable counter is checked against the maximum limit on the number of the repetitions required. The advantage of using looping technique in programming is that it reduces the number of instructions and also the memory space. Students, let's know more. If we do not specify the increment or decrement statement in a loop, it becomes an infinite loop. An infinite loop executes a statement block infinite number of times. Small Basic provides two types of loops, which are for loop, while loop. Okay students, let's first talk about for loop. When we use multiple counters in large programs, it makes the process quite tedious. The process of repeating a program segment in a loop can be simplified and controlled by using the looping statement. The for loop is used when a group of statements are to be executed a specific number of times. It also reduces the length of a program. The syntax is for control variable equals to initial value to final value. And for example, write a program to print first 10 natural numbers on the screen. For a equals to 1 to 10. Text window dot write line bracket in a bracket close. And for explanation. In the first statement, initially the control variable a is assigned the start value 1. It keeps track of the number of iterations. The computer checks whether the value of variable a is less than or equal to the end value 10. If the condition is true, the statements between for and end for get executed. Then the value of variable a is incremented, that is, increased by 1. The computer again checks the value of variable a against the maximum limit, that is, the final value. If the value of the control variable exceeds the final value, the control comes out of the for and end for looping statement. Students, let's know more. A control is a variable that controls and counts the iteration of a loop in a program. It increases with each iteration of a loop in a program. A control needs two things in order to function. Number 1, an initial value. Number 2, an incremental value. The initial value is usually 0 and must be located outside the loop. The incremental value tells the program what is to be counted by and must be located inside the loop. Example: Write a program to print the table of 12 up to 5 times only. Text window dot write line, bracket in, double quote in, table of 12, double quote close, bracket close. Number equals to 12. For A equals to 1 to 5. Text window dot write line, bracket in, double quote in, 12 into, double quote close, plus A plus double quote in equal to double quote close plus 12 into A bracket close. And for. Output. Example. Write a program to print the series of numbers by incrementing the gap between consecutive numbers. N equals to 0. For A equals to 1 to 10. N equals to N plus A. Text window dot write line, bracket in, N, bracket close. And for. Output. Okay students, let's know more. An accumulator is a variable that stores the sum of the numbers entered during the execution of a loop. For example, sum equals to sum plus n. An accumulator must have both the initial value and an incremental value. It keeps on adding total of numbers during successive passes through a loop. Example. Write a program to print the sum of first n natural number. N equals to 0. For A equals to 1 to 10. Text window dot write line, bracket in A, bracket close. N equals to N plus A. And for. Text window dot write line, bracket in, double quote in, the sum of numbers is colon, double quote close plus N bracket close. Output. For with step statement. If you want to increase or decrease the variable value other than 1, you can use the step command in the for statement. Step value is an optional statement which may be either a positive or a negative value. Consider the following program.